Alright, welcome back, folks. I got the CV shaft out. Ball joint was a little bit of a fight, but I got it back together. When I go to actually pull the engine, I'm gonna have this sitting kind of down on the wheels. It's gonna be up on some jack stands, just get the engine hoist through the front. But I've got the power steering line, high pressure. I've got that loose. Still got to get the low pressure one loose. Downpipe, that went beautiful. I think it took like 3 minutes after I stopped recording, and that was actually probably looking more for tools than actual time, because I really think it took only about a minute. So other than that, I've got some loose subframe bushings that I'm gonna end up replacing. I mean, the rubber is not like rotted away, but this car had an extremely bad shake on the driver's side, and I really don't, well, I guess this engine mount, come to think about it, feeling around here in this engine mount, it feels like there's a huge gap around where that bolt goes through. And I'll bet you that getting on the engine, I'll bet you that this thing sways back and forth on there. Kind of hard to really tell by hand. I mean, it's hard to put that kind of torque, the foot-pounds of torque that the engine's putting on it. So I am gonna I got a full set of engine mounts. At this one, the one that's back there. There's another one that's, I guess, towards the front of the car, and another one on the driver's side that mounts to the transmission. So this big monstrosity of a mount has a couple bolts that mount to the front of the engine, and then where this swoops up, there's another bolt that it bolts to the engine. So I think there's like 3, maybe 4 bolts that bolt this monstrosity of a mount. I mean, it's not even really the mount itself. It's what they use to mount to the mount. So these engines were really truly just the 3.8 liter that they were putting in the rear wheel drive vehicles. They did make changes to them, obviously, in the casting specifically for the front wheel drive, but they, for the most part, used the same cast, and I guess they kind of like just made some changes off of it. So when people compare the 3.8 liter in these compared to the ones back in the 80s, there's really not much difference, other than obviously the multi-point fuel injection. They were mostly doing throttle body back then, but yeah, it's going pretty good. I got most of the wire harnesses unplugged off the engine. I still got one on the alternator. Got the main wire for the power wire that goes over here, loops down, ties in over here, and there's another one that runs down, goes down to the starter. Other than that, I think I've got most of the wires unplugged. A couple over there on the throttle body to unplug, a couple fuel lines, got the evap disconnected. So I've got my hook, my hoist hook to go there, and the mount one there. So I'll be getting a chain on this thing and putting it on the engine hoist here. Probably, I'm wanting to say hopefully by Friday. Think once I get this power steering, the low pressure power steering line done, be on to getting the other CV shaft out, ball joint loose over there. I'm not like tightening these ball joints back down yet, because I'm just gonna have to pull them back out for when I put the CV shafts in on the new one. So Got a mount there, and there's a mount down there, and then there's one on the back side, or I guess, you know, the right side of the engine. So once I get that stuff done, I'm going to be pulling the radiator, draining the radiator and pulling it out, and pulling this condenser coil out, taking the AC lines loose from the compressor and the condenser coil. I'm probably going to take all of this out. I'm probably just going to use everything from the Pontiac. I don't know exactly why the AC wasn't working in the LeSabre, but I know it works. It works in the Pontiac. I got somebody that's going to come out and do a recovery on it before I go pulling everything loose. So he's going to be the one that comes back out and charges it back up once I got everything reinstalled. So that's about where I stand for today. Everybody go out and vote. Let your voice be heard. I'm going to keep on going at it. So have fun, y'all.